What if the reason you feel scattered, tired, or unfulfilled is not because life is too hard, but because your mind is constantly pulled in too many directions? In a world that rewards distraction, a focused mind has become rare and powerful. Most people rush through their days reacting, worrying, scrolling, and replaying thoughts they never chose. But Buddhism teaches something radically different. When your attention becomes steady, your life becomes clear. This is not about forcing discipline or controlling every thought. This is about gently training your mind to return to what matters, to what is real, to what brings peace. In this video, you will hear 10 simple Buddhist habits to help you reclaim your focus and quietly transform your life in 2026. Listen slowly. Let these words meet you where you are. This is not information, it is an invitation. Let us begin. Habit 1. Focus begins with knowing where your mind goes. Before you can strengthen your focus, you must first notice where it escapes. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a wild animal, not because it is bad, but because it has never been gently trained. Left unattended, it wanders into worry, regret, comparison, and endless planning. Most suffering does not come from life itself, but from where the mind repeatedly travels. Many people believe they lack focus because they are weak or undisciplined. But Buddhism offers a kinder truth. You are not unfocused, you are simply unaware. The first habit of a focused mind is mindful observation. Begin by noticing your thoughts without trying to stop them. When your mind drifts, silently acknowledge it. Thinking, remembering, worrying. This small act of naming brings awareness, and awareness brings choice. You may notice patterns. Your mind returns to the past. It jumps to imagined futures. It replays conversations. It clings to unfinished stories. None of this means you are failing. It means you are human. Focus does not begin with control. It begins with honesty. Ask yourself gently, where does my attention go when I am tired? What thoughts visit me when I am alone? Which mental habits drain my energy the most? In Buddhism, awareness is already a form of liberation. The moment you see the habit, you are no longer fully inside it. This is how focus grows, quietly, patiently. Do not judge your mind. Judgment creates tension, and tension scatters attention. Instead, treat your mind like a child learning to walk. Each time it wanders, guide it back without frustration. When you sit, sit. When you listen, listen. When you breathe, know that you are breathing. This habit may seem small, but it is profound. A focused life begins the moment you stop living on autopilot. You do not need to change your entire life today. You only need to notice it. Focus begins when you become present enough to see where you are not. Habit 2. Simplify your outer world to calm your inner world. A distracted mind often lives in a crowded environment. Buddhism teaches that the outer world and inner world reflect one another. When your surroundings are noisy, rushed, and cluttered, your mind mirrors that chaos. This is why monks live simply, not to reject life, but to hear it more clearly. The second habit of a focused mind is simplification. Look around your daily life. How many things demand your attention at once? Notifications, conversations, obligations, objects you don't use, information you don't need. Each one quietly pulls at your awareness, fragmenting your energy. You may not realize it, but every unfinished task and every unnecessary possession asks something of your mind. Simplifying is not about deprivation, it is about protection. Start gently. Remove what no longer serves your peace. Clear one drawer. Silence one notification. Say no to one unnecessary commitment. Each small act creates space, and space is where focus breathes. Ask yourself, does this add clarity or distraction? Does this nourish my attention or scatter it? In Buddhism, right effort means conserving energy for what truly matters. You do not need to respond to everything. You do not need to consume everything. A focused mind chooses carefully. When your environment becomes quieter, your thoughts naturally slow down. You begin to notice subtle things again. Your breath, your posture, the tone of your emotions. This is not emptiness, it is presence. A simple life is not an empty life, it is a deliberate one. By simplifying your outer world, you are not losing comfort, you are gaining clarity. Focus grows naturally in spaces that feel gentle and intentional. Habit 3. Do one thing at a time and do it fully. Modern life teaches you to multitask. Buddhism teaches you to be whole. The third habit of a focused mind is single-pointed attention, doing one thing at a time without dividing yourself. When you eat while scrolling, your mind is not eating. When you listen while planning your response, your mind is not listening. When you rush through tasks, your mind never truly arrives. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when the mind is split. Peace arises when attention is unified. Choose one simple activity each day and give it your full presence. Washing dishes, walking, drinking tea. Let it become your meditation. Feel the movement. Notice the sensations. Stay. At first, your mind will resist. It will try to escape. This is normal. Gently bring it back, again and again. This habit trains your mind to stay instead of scatter. When you live this way, even ordinary moments become meaningful. Focus is not something you force. It is something you allow by stopping the habit of constant division. Your life becomes calmer, not because it is easier, but because you are finally present for it. Habit 4. Train your attention like a muscle, not a weapon. Many people approach focus with aggression. They try to force discipline, suppress thoughts, or fight distraction. Buddhism teaches a softer, wiser approach. Focus is not built through tension. It is built through consistency and kindness. The fourth habit of a focused mind is gentle training. Just as the body grows stronger through repeated balanced movement, the mind grows steadier through small daily practices. Sitting in silence for 5 minutes, following the breath, returning when distracted. You will lose focus many times. That is not failure, that is the training. Each return strengthens awareness. Do not demand perfection. Perfection tightens the mind. Instead, commit to showing up. A focused life is built through patience, not pressure. Your mind does not need to be conquered. It needs to be understood. Habit 5. Begin each day by anchoring the mind before the world enters. How you begin your day shapes the quality of your attention for hours to come. In Buddhism, the early moments after waking are considered especially powerful. The mind is softer then, less armored by habit, less crowded by external demands. Whatever you place into awareness during this time becomes the tone of your day. This is why a focused mind begins not with effort, but with intention. Many people wake up and immediately invite the world into their mind. Notifications, news, messages, concerns. Before their feet touch the floor, their attention is already scattered. The day becomes reactive instead of rooted. The fifth habit of a focused mind is anchoring your awareness before engaging with the world. This does not require long meditation or complex rituals. It requires only presence. When you wake, pause. Before reaching for anything, notice your breath. Feel the weight of your body on the bed. Sense that you are alive, here, breathing. This moment is quiet, and it belongs to you alone. The Buddha taught that intention shapes karma. The direction of your mind determines the direction of your life. By anchoring your attention early, you remind yourself that your mind is not owned by urgency. It is guided by awareness. You may choose a simple anchor, the breath moving in and out. A short phrase such as, "Today, I will move gently." A moment of gratitude for waking up. This anchor becomes your inner reference point. When the day becomes noisy, you return to it. As you prepare for the day, move slowly. Notice the sensation of water on your skin, the feeling of standing, the rhythm of movement. These small acts of presence strengthen focus without force. Over time, you will notice a shift. The mind becomes steadier. You respond instead of react. Even when challenges arise, you are less easily pulled away from yourself. This habit also teaches respect for your own inner space. You are no longer starting the day in defense mode. You are starting it from awareness. A focused mind does not rush to meet the world. It meets the world grounded. If you miss a day, do not criticize yourself. Simply return the next morning. Consistency, not perfection, trains the mind. Each morning is a new beginning. Each breath is an invitation to return. Habit 6. Learn to rest your attention instead of constantly consuming. A focused mind knows how to stop. In modern life, the mind is rarely allowed to rest. When there is a pause, we fill it. When there is silence, we escape it. Phones, videos, conversations, and information flow endlessly into our awareness. Over time, the mind becomes tired, not because it works too hard, but because it never rests. Buddhism teaches that attention needs stillness to renew itself. Just as the body requires sleep, the mind requires moments of non-consumption. The sixth habit of a focused mind is intentional mental rest. This does not mean doing nothing out of boredom. It means allowing awareness to exist without constantly feeding it content. Notice how often you reach for stimulation, waiting in line, sitting alone, feeling uncertain. The impulse to distract is automatic, but every time you follow it, your attention becomes more fragmented. A focused mind learns to stay with emptiness without fear. Begin by creating small pauses throughout your day, moments where you do not consume, plan, or evaluate. Simply notice what is present. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Look out a window. Feel your breath. Let thoughts pass without following them. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. The mind will search for something to hold on to. This discomfort is not a problem. It is the doorway to clarity. The Buddha taught that craving is the root of suffering. Constant mental consumption is a form of craving. It keeps the mind restless, always seeking, never settling. When you allow your attention to rest, something gentle happens. The noise softens, thoughts slow down, awareness becomes clearer. You begin to sense your own inner rhythm again. This habit also improves concentration naturally. A rested mind focuses more easily. It does not need to be pushed. You may notice emotional benefits as well. Less irritability, more patience, a deeper sense of calm. This is not because life has changed, but because your relationship with attention has. Resting the mind is not laziness, it is wisdom. You are not meant to fill every moment. Some moments are meant to be empty. In emptiness, clarity arises. In stillness, focus returns. In rest, the mind remembers itself. This habit teaches you that you do not need constant input to be alive. Presence alone is enough. Habit 7. Guard your attention as a sacred resource. In Buddhism, attention is not treated as something ordinary. It is considered one of the most precious qualities of the human mind. Where your attention rests, your life unfolds. Whatever repeatedly holds your focus slowly shapes your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your character. Yet most people give away their attention without noticing. They allow it to be claimed by conflict, comparison, noise, and fear. Over time, this weakens the mind, not because it is incapable, but because it is overexposed. The 7th habit of a focused mind is learning to guard your attention as something sacred. This does not mean withdrawing from life. It means becoming intentional about what you allow to enter your awareness. Just as you would not allow anyone to enter your home without care, you do not need to allow every thought, opinion, or stimulus to occupy your mind. The Buddha taught that sense impressions, what we see, hear, and think, are powerful. If left unchecked, they stir craving, aversion, and restlessness. A focused mind practices wise restraint, not out of fear, but out of respect for inner peace. Begin by noticing what drains your attention most. Is it certain types of media, certain conversations, certain habits of comparison? These are not moral failures. They are simply patterns asking for awareness. You may find that some information leaves you anxious rather than informed. Some interactions leave you exhausted rather than connected. When you notice this, you are being invited to choose differently. Guarding your attention means giving yourself permission to step back, to limit exposure, to take breaks, to choose silence over stimulation when needed. This habit also applies to your inner world. Not every thought deserves engagement. Not every worry needs to be followed. A focused mind learns to observe thoughts without feeding them. When a thought arises, you can ask gently, is this useful? Is this kind? Is this necessary right now? If the answer is no, you allow it to pass. This is not suppression, it is discernment. As you practice guarding your attention, you may notice a shift. You feel less reactive, more grounded, less pulled by external forces. Your energy becomes more stable. In Buddhism, this is known as right mindfulness, being aware of what enters the mind and choosing wisely. A guarded mind is not closed, it is protected. Your attention is your life force. Treat it with care. Where you place it today becomes who you are tomorrow. Habit 8. Let focus deepen through patience, not urgency. Many people abandon focus because they expect immediate results. They sit quietly for a few days, notice distraction, and conclude that it is not working. But Buddhism teaches that true focus unfolds slowly, like a tree growing roots beneath the surface before it becomes visible above ground. The 8th habit of a focused mind is patience. A focused mind is not created through urgency or pressure. Urgency tightens the mind. Pressure creates resistance. Patience allows attention to settle naturally. The Buddha compared mental training to filling a pot with water drop by drop. No single drop feels significant, but over time, the pot becomes full. In the same way, each moment of presence strengthens focus, even when you cannot feel it happening. When you practice patience, you stop measuring progress. You stop asking, "Am I focused enough yet?" Instead, you simply return again and again. Distraction will arise, restlessness will visit, doubt will appear. None of these are signs of failure. They are signs that the practice is alive. Patience also means allowing your current capacity to be enough. Some days your mind will be calm. Other days it will be unsettled. A focused mind does not demand sameness. It meets each day as it is. In Buddhism, impatience is rooted in craving, the desire for a different moment than the one you are in. Focus grows when you release that craving and allow attention to rest where it already is. This habit teaches deep trust. Trust that awareness knows how to settle. Trust that clarity arises naturally when you stop forcing it. As patience deepens, something subtle happens. Your relationship with time changes. You stop rushing through moments. You stop feeling behind. You become less driven by future outcomes and more rooted in present experience. This shift alone transforms life. Patience also protects you from self-judgment. You no longer criticize yourself for wandering thoughts. You simply guide attention back with kindness. The Buddha taught that kindness toward the mind is essential. A harsh mind cannot be focused. A gentle mind can. Over months and years, patience creates stability. Focus becomes less effortful. Attention returns more easily. Life feels less fragmented. You realize that focus was never something you had to chase. It was something that emerged when you stopped hurrying. In patience, the mind learns to stay. In staying, clarity appears. In clarity, life becomes simpler. Habit 9. Align your focus with what truly matters. A focused mind is not just a quiet mind. It is a directed mind. Without direction, even strong focus can be wasted. You may concentrate deeply on things that do not nourish you, do not serve your values, and do not bring peace. Buddhism teaches that attention becomes powerful only when it is aligned with wisdom. The ninth habit of a focused mind is choosing what deserves your deepest attention. In daily life, many things compete for your focus. Urgent tasks, other people's expectations, endless information. Over time, you may find yourself busy but unfulfilled, active yet disconnected from meaning. This is not because you lack effort. It is because your focus has been pulled away from what truly matters. The Buddha taught the principle of right intention, the idea that the mind must be guided by clarity of purpose. When intention is unclear, attention scatters. When intention is clear, attention naturally gathers. Begin by asking yourself gently, what truly matters to me now, not years ago, not according to society, not according to fear, but now. As life changes, what matters also changes. What once demanded your energy may no longer deserve it. A focused mind regularly revisits its values, not to judge the past, but to live honestly in the present. You may discover that what matters most is simpler than you expected. Peace over approval, meaning over speed, connection over achievement, clarity over accumulation. When your focus aligns with these values, something shifts. Decisions become easier. Distractions lose their grip. You begin to say no without guilt and yes without hesitation. This habit also applies to the way you spend your time. Time is not just something that passes, it is something you offer. Each moment you give your attention to something, you are giving a portion of your life. Buddhism invites you to treat attention as an offering. Ask yourself, is this worthy of my life energy? Does this move me toward peace or away from it? This does not mean withdrawing from responsibility. It means engaging with life consciously. When you work, work with purpose. When you rest, rest fully. When you connect with others, be present. A focused mind does not live in constant evaluation. It lives in alignment. You may notice that when your focus is aligned with what matters, your mind feels less divided. There is less inner conflict, less second-guessing, less regret. This alignment also softens fear. When your attention is rooted in values rather than outcomes, you become less afraid of uncertainty. You know why you are living the way you are living, even if the future is unclear. The Buddha taught that clarity of intention leads to peace of mind. A mind that knows its direction does not wander aimlessly. This habit deepens as you practice reflection. From time to time, sit quietly and review your days, not to criticize, but to notice. Where did your attention go? What felt nourishing? What felt draining? This gentle reflection strengthens wisdom. Over time, your focus naturally gravitates toward what brings meaning and calm. You stop chasing what is loud. You stop reacting to what is urgent. You begin living from what is essential. In 2026 and beyond, the world will continue to demand your attention. Distraction will not disappear. But a focused mind does not need a quiet world. It needs a clear inner compass. When your focus aligns with what truly matters, your life becomes simpler, not because there is less to do, but because you are no longer pulled in directions that do not belong to you. Focus becomes not an effort, but a devotion to peace, a devotion to truth, a devotion to living awake. This is the quiet power of a focused mind. Habit 10. Return to the breath, your home in every moment. No matter how much wisdom you gather, how many habits you build, or how clearly you understand the nature of focus, there will always be moments when your mind drifts. Life will interrupt you. Emotions will rise. Old patterns will resurface. This is not a flaw in the practice, it is the human condition. Buddhism offers a final, enduring truth. You always need a place to return to. The 10th habit of a focused mind is returning to the breath as your anchor, again and again. The breath is the most faithful teacher you will ever have. It is always with you, from the moment you are born until the moment you leave this life. It does not demand belief, effort, or perfection. It only asks that you notice it. The Buddha himself taught breath awareness, anapanasati, as a complete path to clarity and liberation. Not because the breath is special, but because attention placed on something simple becomes powerful. When your mind is scattered, return to the breath. When emotions feel overwhelming, return to the breath. When you are uncertain, tired, or afraid, return to the breath. This return is not an escape from life. It is a reunion with it. Notice how the breath moves without effort. You do not need to control it. You do not need to improve it. Simply observe. The inhale arrives, the exhale leaves. One supports the other. Nothing is forced. This teaches a profound lesson. Focus does not require tension. As you rest your attention on the breath, thoughts will continue to appear. Memories, plans, judgments. Instead of fighting them, let them pass like clouds moving across the sky. The breath remains steady, neutral, present. Each time you notice that your mind has wandered and gently guided back, you are strengthening focus. That moment of return is the practice, not the absence of distraction, but the willingness to come back. Over time, this habit reshapes your relationship with attention. You stop feeling frustrated when the mind wanders. You begin to trust the return. The breath also teaches impermanence. Each inhale arises and fades. Each exhale does the same. Nothing stays. Nothing needs to be held. When you align your focus with this rhythm, life feels lighter. In moments of stress, the breath becomes a refuge. You realize you do not need to solve everything immediately. You can pause, you can breathe, you can choose how to respond. This habit brings focus into every part of life, not just meditation. While walking, notice the breath. While speaking, feel the breath move. While resting, stay with the breath. It becomes a quiet companion, grounding you wherever you are. The Buddha taught that a person who knows the breath knows the present moment, and the one who knows the present moment knows peace. Returning to the breath also softens self-judgment. When you lose focus, you no longer criticize yourself. You simply return. This kindness toward the mind is essential. A harsh mind cannot stay focused. A gentle one can. As this habit deepens, you may notice a shift in identity. You stop identifying so strongly with thoughts and emotions. You begin to see yourself as the awareness observing them. The breath anchors you in this awareness. Focus becomes less about effort and more about belonging. You are no longer chasing clarity. You are resting in it. In a distracted world, the ability to return to the breath, to the present, to yourself, is a quiet strength. It does not make you louder, it makes you steadier. This is the power of a focused mind. Not control, not force, but return, again and again. Whenever life pulls you away, remember, your breath is waiting. Your awareness is waiting. Your home is always here. And from this home, you can meet the world with clarity, patience, and peace. As you have already stepped into 2026, remember this. A focused mind is not something you force. It is something you return to gently and patiently. You do not need to become someone new. You only need to come back to yourself again and again with awareness and compassion. If these teachings brought you calm, clarity, or insight, allow them to guide your days quietly. Let focus become your refuge and presence your strength. If you would like more videos that offer peace, Buddhist wisdom, and mindful living, consider subscribing to Mindfulness. Your support helps us share calm and clarity with others around the world. Thank you for listening. May you be steady. May you be present. May you be free.